Action. Hi, Kamoya Benjamin here. I'm joining you on day 13 of the 21 days of purpose and leadership. I'm so excited that we are at this point beyond halfway in the journey of purpose and leadership. And I'm excited that you're tuning in today, that you're joining me on this Facebook broadcast. Excited to really just walk with you on the journey of discovering who am I, what was I created to do. I am persuaded very strongly that you have an assignment on this earth, that you were created to do something. Lemashon, I see you. Thank you so much for joining us. And all of you who are coming in, please, let me know you're here. Say something, say hi, wave, give me a like. I just want to appreciate you for your time. But again, I was saying we're really in the journey of identifying who it is that we are. The process of becoming who we were created to be is a journey. It's not an event, but we get there step by step every day as we engage in the process, as we honor the process, as we become committed, as we amplify the possibilities that we know exist out there for us, and as we minimize the limitations that abound in our spaces, we begin to walk into a path of identifying who it is that we are. And it's been a journey for the last 13 days. I want to applaud all of you that have joined me all the way through the journey, that have stuck in there. Thank you so much, Edith, my support, the greater prophet of the greater life that I see in myself. Thank you so much. I bless you for your support. And even as I get into today's session, I want to just do a very quick run through. We've talked about identifying who you are and how that is so critical in the journey of discovering who you are. You must identify, become fluent, eloquent in the conversation of this is who I am. I think many people are probably so much acquainted with who it is that they know other people to be, but they probably have not gotten to that place where they are eloquent and so good at what it is that they are. People who love football, I hear they can describe Beckham, they can tell you where he was born, how big he is, the size of his shoe, and they become so much acquainted with other people, and they never put the same effort and energy to really understand and discover who am I, and to really do that assignment. And we've been talking about that. We talked about your passion, what really fires you up, what draws you out. And we talked about how you cannot achieve highly at the area of maximizing on your potential if you do not have passion. Anybody that you see has achieved at a high level has identified what it is that they are passionate about. And that success that they have achieved is because of understanding what their passion is. We also began to talk about the vision journey, about really thinking about what is it that could be, what are the possibilities that exist out there. And the vision that you have and the vision that I have are not going to be the same. Why? Because we are wired differently. Our DNA is different. Kenny, I see you. Thank you so much. Welcome to the class. And our DNA is really wired so differently. And as we begin to step out and begin to open our spiritual eyes to see what could be based on the potential that is resident within us, we see different possibilities. And it's a vision journey. And the vision journey then demands that we begin to walk the leadership journey. And the leadership journey is where we have dwelt for the last couple of days as we've talked about how do you move from here to there? How do you lead from the future? I shared about that yesterday. And the question about leading from the future begins to present lots of challenges and conflict internally, where we know that's where we need to go, but everything within us begins to say no. We cannot go there because we do not have the resources to go there, because we do not know how there looks like. And it's a challenge. And for all of you who are joining me on this broadcast, I want to encourage you to give energy to the possibilities. Give energy to the possibilities and starve all the limitations. Do not give energy to your limitations. Do not give energy to where you have shortfalls, to where you are disadvantaged. Rather, direct all your energy to where you have possibilities. And that comes really from imagining and thinking about what it is that is at the top of your mind. What is it that God has wired you for? Today, just like I promised yesterday, I'm going to get into the conversation of how do we go beyond the terror zone. And I'm going to just explain it very briefly, just for you to get a highlight of what is it we're talking about. But if you come here, I'm going to walk you step by step through this journey of really how do we get to freedom. And it's a journey of moving beyond freedom conflict, reasoning, and the comfort zone. And I'm going to walk you through this journey. I slit these things so that you can understand and walk with me through the journey. If there's anything that you probably are ever going to learn that will help you really discover the process of creating and discovering stuff. Thank you, Maureen. I see you there. This is worth $1 million. And this is the work of the Dr. Thurman Fleet. And I do appreciate, the work that he put in. And this is his discovery. And then, more works by Dr. Bob Proctor. And those are the things that I want to share with you today. But beginning with what we are talking about here today is really the idea of just going beyond the terror zone. And so if you think about you as being the person right here in the middle, okay, that's you right there, okay, with your hand and your nice looking hair, wherever that may be. That is you right there in the middle. What you're going to realize is that there is an area, like a fence or so, and I'm going to put it in a dotted line. There is sort of a fence, an area that you play in. And this area is your comfort zone. Here you are not scared about anything. Here everything is okay. You are familiar with the grounds. Okay, and this is an amazing place to play from. I mean, you're comfortable here. It's your comfort zone. But you see, as we begin to think about that being the comfort zone, there exists so many possibilities on the outside here. And I'm going to put this again like this, probably more solid. There exist more possibilities out here. Okay, the future, which is probably the life that you want to live, exists outside here. The ideal kind of future that you desire exists outside there. The car that you want to drive, okay, exists outside there. The purpose that you are created to achieve exists outside there. The assignment of your life exists outside there. The fulfillment of your destiny exists outside here, okay? The kind of marriage that you desire, okay, it exists outside here. Okay, the children that you want to raise, okay, they exist outside here. The kind of business that you want to run, okay, exists out of here. The kind of money that you want to have, okay, exists out of here. And so you are tucked in within your comfort zone, very excited about the possibilities that you have already realized. But what you don't realize is that outside of your comfort zone, there exists greater possibilities. And you do know that such things exist outside of your comfort zone. But we find that we are unable to break out of this place and to step out into the unknown. To go and achieve the things that we know very clearly can become a reality in our lives. We dream about them, we think about them, we even pray about them. But none of those things give us or qualify us to be able to go out there and get them. And I want you really to just kind of map out and think about, what does the outside look like for you? I know for all of you who are watching me, there's a vision that you have. Lauren, Linda, I see you. Thank you so much for joining us today. There is a certain desire that you have so much, so strongly within you. There is a certain desire that you have that is so strong that you need to begin to pursue. And what you begin to realize, even as we talk about the word desire, and I'm going to just get a different flip chart here. The word desire, to desire, okay? Sire is an English word, okay? Okay? And the Latin root of this word, if you look at it and break it into two, to desire. To sire really is to bring forth. Fathers are the ones who have the seed and they have the ability to sire children. Stephen, I see you. Thank you so much. Fathers have the seed and they sire children, and they bring forth. Okay? So fathers have the seed. And so when you look at these two words, to desire, okay, it means that if there are certain things that you feel strongly, deep within your heart, okay, that I can do this, that there is a certain desire within you to desire something. It means that already within you, because you have the desire, are placed within you the seeds to make that desire become a reality. And God says, I will grant you the desires of your heart. And I love that scripture because then it reminds me that even as I draw closer to God and get aligned with what it is that He has in store for me, his desires and my desires come into alignment. I cannot desire, of course, when I am in the space and in the presence of God. And so the desires that I begin to have, God tells me that as long as you can desire that thing, as you can feel it within yourself, the seeds to sire, okay? You have the ability to sire, to bring forth that which you desire. And so going back to what we're talking about here today, if there's something that you so strongly desire to become a reality in your life, that it's out there, the seeds to do that are already within you. But you have to break. Thank you, Liza. I see you there. You have to break through this terror barrier. What I'm showing you here is the terror barrier. That when you begin to think about how am I going to walk out of where my comfort zone is into the unknown, yeah, I begin to get, anxiety, and I'm afraid, and there is fear involved. Okay, I really see the car, but how am I going to do that? What will I do? And yesterday I talked to you about the triangle of really leading from the future. And just as a quick, refresher, I see some of you joined me today. I'm going to give you a quick refresher. We talked about leading from the future. And as you begin to think about desiring, there is who you need to become in order for you to do what you've never done so that you can have what you've never had. And just the process of doing in itself demands that we become. And that's what I'm talking to you about here today, that desiring to go for more really calls for us to move beyond this comfort zone into the terror barrier. But how does that look like? Allow me to walk you through that process. And I'm going to just put this away so that we concentrate just bit by bit on what it is that I want us to look at. And the process really begins from here, where we're in a comfort zone. This is where I'm telling you where we are. Okay, and you have an X type of thinking. There's a type of thinking that you have. Let me get my blue pen here. There's a type of thinking that you have. Your current conditioning. We're gonna call that current conditioning X. And with that current conditioning in your subconscious, I know you remember the conversation we had about the conscious and subconscious. So this is the mind, the top is the conscious, the bottom is the subconscious, and this is your body, okay? And so there is an alignment just about the kind of thinking that you have, which is also in your subconscious, and that's how you act and live out your life, and that gives you a certain result that causes action and behavior that gives you gives you R, results. And so you're kind of like flowing through this place. These are the results I get, and they inform my mind that this is who I am, and this is who I believe already on the inside. And these are the results that this is what I do, and these are the results I get. And so you're constantly in that cycle, in that loop. And you're never going to get anything different. And that's a comfort zone. You've done what you've always known, and therefore you get what you've always got. And nothing is going to change. And that's the comfort zone. This is a place that, in other words, I would use the word, this is a space of bondage. You're bound. You cannot get different results until you begin to do something different. This is a space of bondage. I don't know whether you guys are seeing. Let me probably move it close. Yeah, I think that's clearer. There's a space of bondage. Now, from time to time, you might get a why idea. Like what I'm sharing with you on this broadcast, you might get a why idea. And that's like, hey, you can discover your purpose. There's an assignment that's out there for you. God created you for something bigger than what you see right now. And that's a new idea that's coming into your mind. And as that idea begins to enter into the conscious mind, it is instantly dismissed. Like, how can you think that? So it looks so amazing when we're here on the chat. But as you go home, as you walk, as you think, as you do your laundry, as you wash your dishes, as you eat, as you sleep, as you wake up, it's like, no, that stuff is not going to happen. That's not who I am. I will never become that. This guy is talking about his own things. He doesn't live in the real world. These things don't happen. And so this is why many people find themselves in bondage, and they can never move out of where they are. Though you desire greater results, you feel within you that there could be more, but you cannot go for more because you are bound. You're bound. Your X conditioning determines X action, and therefore you get certain results, and you're constantly in that loop. But if we want to begin to move forward, what begins to happen is that the more I share with you and the more I sit with you here on the 21 days of purpose and leadership, you begin to realize, there could be a better day for me. There could be a certain future for me. And so reasoning begins to happen. And so the why idea, which had instantly, been dismissed before, comes into your mind. And so you begin to entertain the why idea. Remember, you live in an X conditioning, and so that has not changed. So your subconscious still is dominated by the X conditioning that has determined your results all along. And therefore, based on who we are, not just what we think, who we are really on the inside, on our subconscious, there's a way that we act, and that continues to give us a certain result. And so this is the place where we are, that we're beginning now to entertain the why idea. You mean I could discover my purpose? You mean there is more for me? You mean I could go for more? You mean? And so I need to identify who I am. I need to know my passion. And so this why idea begins to impress very strongly. Now it's not been dismissed. It's been accommodated in your conscious mind, but it's not yet in the subconscious mind. It's not yet been taken up, been received within your spirit that, hey, this could be a possibility for me right here in the subconscious mind. And so the reasoning is happening. Yes, it's a better place to be at than the comfort zone, but the reasoning is happening. You're having those moments within yourself, and you're going back and forth like, you mean this could really happen? Is this a reality? Is this true? Is this what could be? And as you engage into that process more and more and more and more and more, guess what begins to happen? You settle into conflict right there. That there is internal conflict within yourself. That now the why idea, okay, has taken base right here. And, sorry, that's a why idea, not why idea, okay? The why idea has been impressed very strongly down here, okay, into your subconscious mind. And guess what now? Besides the X idea that has been dominating your subconscious mind, the Y idea is beginning to have some little space inside there as well. Like, yeah, you mean this could happen? You mean, Benjamin, you could go for more? You mean you could really help leaders identify their purpose? He said, yeah, I could identify. I could work with leaders. He said, do you have what it takes? He said, I don't know. I think I have what it takes. And so there's conflict on the inside of me. The Y idea and the X idea are wrestling on the inside. The Y idea says, I could do this. I could achieve this. I could go for more. But the X idea says, who do you think you are? You're coming from a place where your village despises you, your mother. Look at your house. Look at your brothers. You're the least in your household. And there's a constant battle back and forth. At work, your employees tell you, my friend, just get a life. You know, these things are not done by people like you. You want to pretend that you're going to be the next who? The next Churchill, or the next John Maxwell, or the next best great designer, whoever. You know, there's a constant battle on the inside. And so what you're going to find that is sometimes, okay, you're operating based on the X kind of thinking. I'm taking my actions. I do this. But then the Y also says this is what you need to do. So you begin to realize initially you never used to put money down to buy a book. But now there's something within you that says buy a book. And even when you're at the counter paying for the book, there's a lot of conflict on the inside. You'll be like, who are you? You never buy books. You never read books. Who are you becoming? And so there's a conflict on the inside of you. Conflict. You move beyond reasoning, and now you're getting into the place of conflict. Now, this is where it matters most. Because as that conflict is going on, you're getting certain results that are slightly different from what you used to get because of the X conditioning. The bulbs are going on for Liza right there. Okay? So there's a kind of result that you're getting. The R here, the result that you're getting here is slightly different. And that's what I say, that you need to do it afraid. You need to do it afraid. You need to walk out there and say, you know, let me go and fail. Let me go and fall. Because as I fall, I begin to see a little bit of success. Like I did one thing right and 9 wrong. That's why I failed. Next time I'll do it. I'll do 8 things wrong and 2 right. 7 wrong, 3 right. It's getting to a point where you begin to do 5 right, 5 wrong. You're getting significant success. You're updating your identity. And that updating your identity is what causes us to move beyond the terror barrier, which is what you see here in red, into that zone. But wait, if you do not consistently stay in that place of internal conflict where you're doing it afraid, you're a zombie, you're walking all over, you have no idea what you're doing, but you're just going and you need to do it because you know you need to do it because there's no better place to go back to, the comfort zone, but there has to be a better way. I need to find a coach, I need to get a mentor, I need to get into spaces of growth. Just do it afraid, just go ahead, plan the conference, do the design, sign up for that program, say I'll come, say I'll deliver, whatever that may be, just say I will do it, and then go and continue with the battle on the inside. And then what happens? For the people that say, I'm not gonna do this, I think this is too much, I think I was never born for this. If they allow the X to become stronger and to overpower them, the Y idea gets dismissed. They look at their results in this phase and say, you see, look at what I got. I'm a failure. I was never meant to do this. If I was meant to do this, if God really wanted me to do this, He should have given me better results. A friend of mine said, if God wants me to fulfill my purpose, come and tell me. That was a funny one. But this is the thing. God has made available every resource in order for us to step into that place. And I think of the Wright brothers, the guys that facilitate us to just fly to the US and back. 9 hours, you're there, and then you're back. These guys thought about a better way, and they went only for the possibility that was existing within them. No one had ever flown. Someone should prosecute these guys because they flew without a pilot's license. They just said, you know what, we could try something. We could go for something. And the X idea was like, no one has ever flown. But the Y idea within them, that belief, that idea that their spirit sought fuller expression of who they had been created to be and to deliver into the world, kept knocking on their door and saying, hey, go for more. And it's the nagging that I told you about. Listen to that nagging that says, hey, wake up. You could do this. You can do this. Give that small Y the possibility. Give it power. I think there's one time I went to, these moments when you're so broke, way back then, I said, things happen. Let me just go to a charity sweepstake. Let me just buy that charity sweepstake. Who knows? Maybe today I might be the lucky winner. I might just win $1 million or 200,000. And we are also living in the days of gambling here in our country where there's a something, for lottery, money lottery everywhere. I think there are probably 100 of them. And they're just saying, put in 20 shillings. You could make $1 million. You could make 100 million. And just think about, I know sometimes you may be tempted, like maybe I could buy this thing. Yeah, maybe your values have told you no. But deep within your subconscious, in your mind, you're like, maybe I could buy this thing one day. And I want you to think about that dot of a belief that maybe I could win. Maybe I could win the lottery. Just maybe. I could put 20 bob and maybe just that slight hope, belief that causes you to go into your pocket, remove the money, put it on the counter, or bet on your phone like I'm going to get that 100 million. That tiny belief is what I want you to blow like a balloon. Give it energy and let it become big and ride on it. That small belief that makes you think, maybe I could win the lottery. I could get 100 million. Maybe. That's the Y idea. It's the Y idea that comes to say maybe. But everything around you saying, no, you can't, never, it will never be. Give energy to that Y idea, that possibility. Because then if you don't, and the people who don't, what do they find? Is that they find themselves back here. Back in the comfort zone, back in bondage, where the Y idea is now more dismissed than ever before, and they continue in that X conditioning, and they never get the results that they desire. So they see it's out there, it's happening for other people, and they fall into a place where they give excuses. No, other people are not born like others. I was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Don't compare me with them. Yeah, it's not good to compare, but it's also not good to disqualify yourself in the process of looking at what could be for you as a possibility. Now, for the people who engage and move forward, what begins to happen? what begins to happen? I love this. The why idea. Sorry, I'm using green here. Where are you green? You changed your caps. Good. So the why idea is here. That has been impressed so strongly over time into the subconscious. And so now we do not have an X, but we have a Y idea right there. Let me tilt this so you guys can see it better. Right there. And this guy, changed man, changed woman, Y idea, is getting them results that are different from what they ever used to know. This is amazing. This is amazing. If you can stick it through, you will get to this point. Do it afraid. Do it afraid. I tell you what, James Allen says that you will become as small as the limiting beliefs that you have, or as great as the possibilities that you believe could be out there for you. You'll become as small as those limiting beliefs that crush you, that compress you, that limit you, that make you small. You'll become small if you magnify, if you give them that space to become small. Or you'll become as great as the possibilities that you give voice, that you give energy, so that you can become the great person that you've been created to be. This is the process really of moving beyond the comfort zone and really engaging with the emotions. Because what is here? Here there is fear. There is worry. There is anxiety. There is loneliness. As people tell you, you go and do it all by yourself. We're not together. You go. Figure it out. We're not with you. There's loneliness in this place. But this is where you decide, am I going to break through the terror barrier? Am I going to break through the terror barrier? Am I going to break through the terror barrier from here? Am I going to break through? And once you break through the terror barrier, you step into that place of freedom, where now the kind of vision that you had for your life has become a reality. The kind of desires that you had are becoming a reality. So update your identity and begin to move in the direction of resistance. Begin to move in the direction of resistance. Do it afraid. What is it that you want to do? What is it that you feel so strongly in your heart in 2018? Begin to move in the direction of resistance. And as you engage in that place of resistance, hey, please note what? This is not abnormal. This is so normal. Get used. Make this your new normal. Make this your new normal. Make this the place where you're constantly in. As you think about your dreams, every day I say, create dream time. Create times of reflection where you refine your dream. And although the X conversation will become too loud, like, hey, you cannot do this. You're not the guy who does this. You don't have the money. Come on, just be realistic. Just, and it's going to be a tough thing. I tell you, in my journey of, deciding that I'm going to become a coach, a speaker, and a trainer, and I'm going to be in spaces where I inspire leaders, that price has become very high as I continue to move closer in that direction. Now the amount of money that I need to put towards that agenda is more than ever than when I started. But even when I have those conflicting moments, like, you mean you would rather put money in this vision than to do this other thing? I have those X conversations in my mind. But I do not allow the X to become big. I allow the Y idea to become greater. And as I do it, I get different results. I could share with you stories upon stories upon stories of how I have really just navigated beyond reasoning, or like, wow, this could be a great idea, into conflict where even I myself internally, I'm feeling like, no, I shouldn't do this. But I persevere and I press on and I'm resilient and I move forward into the place of freedom. Many people are talking about entrepreneurship. Become an entrepreneur, become awesome, become great, and do this. But they are failing to tell people about this is what really happens. Why don't you take a moment, because you've got value today, and share this with someone that really needs to hear this. Put it on their WhatsApp, whatever you do, get it out there and let someone know that they could really develop their capacity and get into that place. Okay? And one of the things that my director is just reminding me here, just to put as a caution, we do not do betting, and we do not, encourage. We do not even stand for betting. And I used it as an example really to say, if you think of even betting on yourself, like I want to bet on myself, I want to bet on my capacity, I want to bet on my potential. Sometimes that energy is so small. That energy is so small, and you need to amplify it. Now, in the past, I've really shared more and said, I would not desire to be at a place where I'm encouraging what I do not agree with. And today I gave an example about betting, and I don't think that was the best example to use. And I'm very sorry. But I do not desire for you to use this betting thing as a way to move forward. I shared with you yesterday in my thing, say, come up with a requisition form where you sit down and you put down all your papers. Please give me that requisition form. Give me those small piece of papers there on my desk. Yeah. I just want to share with you my requisition form. Yeah, right here. This is my requisition form. Okay, these are the things that I'm trusting God to do, and I put them on a green card, and I constantly work with it. And I have already mapped out my costs, and I asked God and I said, make this. These are the things that I want to do. These are the things that I need in order for me to move forward in my goal and my mission. And I put my faith in God. I put my trust in God. I'm doing His assignment. This is not my own assignment. And so He foots the bills. God's will, God's bill. And that's what I believe. God's will, God's bill. And I foot the bill and I tell Him, God, if I'm going to move forward, these are the things I need. He's going to figure out how that's going to happen. But this is the thing. Go for more. Go beyond the comfort zone into freedom. That has been my time with you here today. Thank you for adding value to me, for giving me an audience, for allowing me to share these ideas with you. I totally am persuaded and believe in the unfoldment of your capacity. I believe in the unfoldment of your potential. I believe in the unfoldment of the God-ordained destiny that is within you. Caroline Bright, thank you so much. God's will, God's bill. And I'll see you tomorrow on day 14 of the 21 days of purpose and leadership. Someone asked me a question. My cousin Joel, I'm going to answer you tomorrow as I talk about really what are the 3 key things that a leader needs to know in order for them to become influential. Leadership is influence. And tomorrow, come and join me at 9 a.m. as we talk about the 3 C's of leadership. You'll never see leadership the same way if you look at these 3 things. I'm going to share with you political scenarios, different things that you need to understand, not as a politician, but as a student of leadership. What does it take to influence you? What does it take to influence others to move from here onto that journey of accomplishing the purpose, the assignment that God has created you for? Thank you so much for your time. There is